Nefertiti is one of the most recognizable yet elusive female figures of the ancient world. Her image, immortalized in the painted limestone bust housed in Berlin, has transcended the archaeological record to become a global icon of feminine beauty and power. To understand her, we must rebuild her, not as a statue, but as a living, breathing woman of the 14th century BC. What did she really look like? Who were her people? And did she, in the end, rule Egypt alone? We'll talk about her history, legacy, ethnicity, and deep dive into statues and depictions, including the famous Berlin bust. And of course, we'll reveal our reconstructions of maybe one of the most beautiful women of all time. Let's get into it. Let's start today with Nefertiti's history and impact. Nefertiti was born around the year 1370 BC. Her name translates to "the beautiful one has come." She was the wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep IV. But where did she come from? For decades, scholars have fought over her bloodline. Two theories dominate the debate. The first is a romantic notion, that Nefertiti was a foreign princess named Tadoukipa, sent from the kingdom of Mitanni to seal a treaty. Her father is likely a man who held the cryptic title of God's father, possibly meaning the father-in-law to the king. When Nefertiti was still a teenager, she and her husband did the unthinkable. They declared that the thousands of gods worshipped in Egypt were false. There was only one god, the Aten, the visible disk of the sun. They abandoned the old capital and marched into the desert to build the Horizon of the Aten. This was not just a religious shift, it was a takeover of the state. And Nefertiti was not standing behind her husband, she was standing beside him. The Aten was the god in heaven. Amenhotep and Nefertiti were the gods on earth. You could not pray to the Aten directly. You had to pray to Nefertiti, and she would intercede for you. This era, the Amarna period, gave us art unlike anything before. For the first time, we see a pharaoh kissing his wife. We see Nefertiti bouncing her daughters on her knees. But the dream would turn into a nightmare. Around year 13 or 14 of their reign, disaster struck. A plague swept through the ancient Near East. The royal family was not spared. In the royal tomb, we find a scene that breaks the heart even today. Nefertiti stands over the deathbed of her daughter, Mekhet-Aten. Her hand is clutching her head in raw, unfiltered grief. The living goddess was watching her children die, and the sun disk could not save them. Toward the end of Amenhotep's reign, Nefertiti disappears from history, but scholars believe she might have become a female pharaoh, possibly under a different name, ruling alongside her husband as an equal, and perhaps ruling alone after he died. But does Nefertiti have a mummy? And is there a body? In 1898, a mummy was found in the Valley of the Kings, known as the Younger Lady. In 2003, Egyptologist Joanne Fletcher claimed this was Nefertiti. The mummy had a shaved head, double-pierced ears, and a brow impression from a tight crown. However, DNA tests in 2010 identified this mummy as the mother of Tutankhamun and the daughter of Amenhotep III. Alas, it seems there is no concrete evidence a mummy exists for Nefertiti. The debate over Nefertiti's race often imposes modern categories on an ancient world that didn't use them. Ancient Egypt was a corridor between Africa and Asia. Evidence from the Amarna tombs shows a population that was indigenous to the Nile Valley, North African peoples with a mix of traits from the Mediterranean and the Levant. If she was the daughter of Ai, she was native Egyptian. If she was Tadoukipa, she was Indo-Iranian/Hurrian. The safest historical bet is that she looked like the people of her land, a North African woman with a complexion perfectly adapted to the Egyptian sun. Whilst Egyptologists debate how Nefertiti may have dressed, it's likely she wore incredibly fine royal linen in the heat of Amarna, which would have been tied with a sash. These sashes could have been dyed red, blue, or green. While she was famous for the flat-top blue crown, she also wore the Nubian wig, a short, curly, layered bob. This was a military hairstyle. Her eyes were lined with heavy black kohl, extending out to the temples. Her lips were stained with red ochre. It's likely she wore a magnificent collar of gold, dark blue, turquoise, or red. The Berlin bust, discovered in 1912, is our primary source for recreating Nefertiti. It's made of a limestone core, covered in layers of plaster. CT scans reveal that the stone queen inside is an older woman. She has wrinkles at the corners of her mouth, a bump on her nose, sagging skin. The sculptor, Thutmose, used the plaster to smooth her out, to lift her cheekbones, to make her eternal. A mix of powdered lime and red chalk, creating a tawny, burnt sienna hue. Not white, not black, but a rich Egyptian brown. Let's get into the recreations of this ancient sculpture. We've made an ancient version and modern version for you to check out. Let's take a look at the recreations of Nefertiti. Please give us your thoughts on the Berlin bust recreations you've seen today. It was such a pleasure talking the history of Nefertiti with you. If you like the content, please support us by liking or subscribing. I will see you guys in the next video.